How's it going, everyone? Chris here with another Battlefield 3 weapon guide episode. Today we're going to take a look at another PDW weapon, the P90, which is unlocked in game after ranking up to level 40. I've already featured this weapon as part of my first recon loadout, but let's take a look at the weapon in more detail by starting off with a look at its general statistics. Its power figures come in at pretty low in comparison to the other PDW weapons. Along with the MP7, the P90 does 20 up close, dropping off pretty soon to 11.2 at long range. The recoil figures are pretty moderate in comparison to the other PDW weapons, but the recoil is pretty manageable overall. It's worth burst firing to take out those medium to long range targets, but anything up close you can just spray away in full auto. One of the best features of the P90 is its large magazine size, which weighs in at 50 rounds. This is just behind the PP19's 55 rounds, and it definitely makes life easier in taking out multiple targets, unlike some of the other PDWs which come in at just 20 round magazine and need boosting up with the help of extended mags, which obviously fills up one of the attachment slots. And to finish off its stats, its rate of fire comes in at 900 rounds per minute. This is one of the fastest firing PDW weapons, just behind the MP7 but on par with the PP19 and AS Val. So I'd say these high fire rate PDW weapons are amongst the best out of its class. Out of the lot, I think the AS Val gets my vote as the number one PDW weapon, especially since it's been given the option of extended mags in the recent patch. Beforehand you just had to put up with that 20 round magazine size, but now it can be increased to 30 rounds. The AS Val does have the advantage in long range damage as well, since it comes in at 18.4 as opposed to 11.2, but the P90's outstanding feature is that 50 round magazine size by default, which means the weapon is much more suited to engaging multiple bad guys at close range, and it means it's going to be pretty easy to use straight out of the box without having to rank it up to unlock the extended mags feature. The AS Val comes with a suppressor attached by default, but the advantage of the P90's 50 round magazine size is that you can attach the suppressor, which is one disadvantage to the MP7 in that you need that third attachment slot to equip extended mags to bump up its 20 round mag size up to 40. But let's move on and take a look at my recommendations of a configuration of attachments for your P90 in Battlefield 3. The iron sights on the P90 are pretty adequate, but there's nothing like an optic just to help with your overall accuracy and to help you snap on targets much faster. I find myself attaching the Cobra red dot sight to a lot of weapons because of its slimmer overall appearance and slightly larger window to aim through, but I actually prefer the reflex red dot sight because that little red dot works well with the recoil pattern of the P90. What I find with that high fire rate is the P90 tends to bounce around quite a lot, and with the Cobra red dot sight having those three lines in that German style reticle, the vertical line can sometimes mask your target and you can't really see exactly where you're shooting, but whereas that reflex red dot sight has that little red dot, you can see immediately when you start straying off target and your bullets start going above the bad guy's head. Along with the MP7, the P90 has that insane hip-fire accuracy, which can be increased even further with the help of the laser sight attachment, which you get after just 20 kills. Combined with that good close-range damage figure, it makes the P90 a deadly weapon in those close-quarters engagements. If you run into a group of bad guys, all you need to do is just spray away from the hip and use those tight on-screen crosshairs to send your bullets towards the bad guys and take them out in just a split second. So I've already mentioned that the P90 having a 50 round magazine size means that you've got the third attachment slot clear for anything other than extended mags, which means the suppressor is quite a good choice for the P90. We all know that since the patch, the suppressor isn't as good as it was previously and it's going to inhibit your long range accuracy, but with the P90 having those low long range damage figures at just 11.2, it's not like you're going to be dropping people with these at long range anyway, so you might as well equip the silencer and boost your close range abilities in that you're not going to be detected after flanking around the back of the bad guys, and that the weight of the suppressor is going to help tame that recoil slightly. After testing out loads of configurations with the P90, the suppressor was definitely my go-to choice. I thought that the flash suppressor would have worked pretty well in that also decreases the recoil of the weapon, but I definitely found that using the suppressor and going on those flanking missions behind the back of the bad guys really helped out and resulted in some cool clips and some of my best gameplays. So the suppressor is another attachment that which you get pretty early on after just 30 kills, and like we mentioned, it eliminates muzzle flash as well as reducing the fire sound of the weapon and overall just helping you stay undetected. So that's about it for my guide to the P90. Let me know down in the comments if you've got a different preferred setup for your P90 in game. Also let me know what your preferred PDW weapon is. Are you like me where you prefer the AS Val, or you're a P90 fan, or maybe the MP7? Or can you deal with the lower damage figures of the PP19 and put that weapon to work? If you are a fan of the P90 or just enjoyed my little review of it, please drop me a thumbs up on this video to help share it with your friends and give my videos overall more widespread exposure. If you've stumbled across my video through YouTube search, don't forget to subscribe to stick around for plenty more of these Battlefield 3 weapon guides. Come and say hello on Twitter or Facebook if you want to socialise outside of YouTube. Otherwise, thanks for watching, I'll catch you all later.